Hey Anna,
Hey, Mike.
so we've just finished Billy's first 60 days of Antinol, and wow, what a difference.
Really? Oh my gosh, what have you noticed?
Well, he's shiner, he's much more energetic. Not that he wasn't beforehand, but you can see the difference. But remember, I told you he used to have that little limp in his back left paw that he'd hurt himself when he was a pup. He
Yes,
doesn't seem
yes.
to do that much anymore.
What, the hop, skip, and the jump?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like his joints are a bit better. And we actually had friends around this weekend who'd noticed that there was something good about Billy. And I was telling them about Antinol, and they said, "Oh, what's in it?" I said, "Well, green lip mussel." And they said, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh, well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Anna," as I always do. So
Well,
for next
green,
time, what should I say? What's so great
well,
about green lip mussel?
green lip mussel, it comes from New Zealand. It's the only place that green lip mussels live. And what's great about the green lip mussel is that it is what's known as a broad spectrum source of omega 3. And the reason dogs need to take omega 3 is that their bodies don't make it themselves. So, unless they're getting it through their diet, which can be omega 6 heavy. And it's very important to have a balance between omega 6 and omega 3. So it's normally through supplements that omega 3 is given. And green lip mussel is unique in its having everything from EPA, DHA, and ETA. So all the main omega 3s.
And how about Binks and Prudence? They must be much better as well.
Yeah, well, they've been on it for over a year and they've been on green lip mussel forever since I've had them. So Prue's 10 now. So she's had green lip mussel since the first day I brought her home, to be honest, but not Antinol. And I only wish I'd discovered Antinol earlier. I really honestly mean that because it's an oil rather than a powder. So its bioavailability, that means, its effectivity to get absorbed quickly and efficiently by the body is greater.
So people listening now and they want to discover Antinol for themselves, where do they go?
Well, all you have to do is go to Antinol, ANTINOL.co.uk, and then type in Anna Webb and get your special discount. Hello, I'm Anna Webb, and welcome to this week's episode of A Dog's Life. I'm thrilled that we're chatting to the flyball captain of the team called Junkyard Dogs, who will be competing at Crufts next weekend. And this episode is powered by Antinol and fueled by Natural. Jess Warnican and Cheryl Quinn, welcome to A Dog's Life.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really excited because we're talking about crufts, but not about the showing side of crufts, about the actual sports, which really, they really set the pace, I think, as the main attraction at crufts. Would you agree?
I think so, yes. I think the arena's always full when the sports dogs go into that arena.
Yeah, because Cheryl, you're involved with a flyball team called Junkyard.
I am, yeah, I'm the team captain for Junkyard Dogs.
Amazing. Tell us a bit more about flyball and how you came about to set up the team.
Oh gosh. So flyball is probably one of the fastest growing dog sports in the UK. It is, what's the best way to explain it? Probably it's a relay race for four dogs, and they have to go over four jumps, trigger a box to catch a ball, and then come back over those four jumps, and then are rewarded by the handler in the run back area.
And it's like super fast, isn't it,
It
Cheryl?
can be super, super fast, yes.
Is it a bit like agility, that you're marked on the speed? And of course, you get points knocked off if the dog maybe does a swerve and does their own thing and doesn't come back to the handler or misses the ball or something like that.
So the aim of the game is for the four dogs to complete as fast as possible. If there is an early change, so obviously the dogs cross nose to nose, ideally, on the start line. If one dog is early, then it's a fault and that dog will have to run again at the end. If one of the dogs spits or drops a ball, it will have to run again at the end. If it misses out a jump, it will. So yeah, you do get
Right.
marked for faults, but it's not really points based. The
Just
dog,
time.
yeah, it's just time based, and the dog has to kind of run at the end to make up for that mistake.
I see. Yeah, no, gosh. And how did Cheryl and Jess, how did you meet?
Well, we've been working with Junkyard since April 24 now, so been supporting them with the food and some uniform and things like that for 2 years now.
Wow, because I'm obviously a massive fan of feeding a raw, balanced, and complete diet for optimum health. And when you're talking about canine athletes that really have to perform, there's no hanging around. You've got to get the speed, the muscles have to be strong. Would you say, Cheryl, diet arguably is the most important aspect of your dog's lives?
Oh my days, absolutely. So when I first started, it was with my border collie who I was new to flyball and my dog just needed a job to do, and that's how we initially got into flyball. But when I set my own team up, it was evident that I wanted the best out of my dogs and the best out of my team dogs, and we looked at diet and nutrition, and it was absolutely clear to me that raw feeding was the way forward. And then we started looking towards the partnership with Nature Raw.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it sort of goes without saying that you'd assume like an Olympic athlete human would be focusing like really heavily on the diet, but it's not quite as accepted that dogs, need the same sort of careful and targeted sort of nutrition, is it?
No, all the arguments around kibble versus raw, it just...
Do you feel like in flyball there is probably a higher percentage of people that feed raw than like your average?
I think so. I think a lot of the top performing teams, a lot of the faster teams, especially in the UK, raw feed. I think there are some still out there that kibble feed more for ease.
Yeah, it can be, especially when you're on the road and stuff.
Yeah, because we travel a lot. I've got multiple dogs, which means I have to take multiple poly boxes full of food everywhere when we travel. And I think kibble can be seen as that easy. But for me, there's no compromise. I ask a lot of my dogs. I need them to perform and be the best that they can be. So
yeah, definitely.
That's why we feed Nature Raw.
And with that, the like sprint nature of it, needing that energy and the
speed.
So the high quality protein and for the afterwards as well for like recovery. Yeah.
Feed the chicken and tripe is really good, so we like the tripe based to help with recovery.
Yeah.
No, yeah, gosh, yes, no. I mean, I'm a fan actually of tripe. One of my favorite flavors, varieties is the tripe and heart at the moment, actually, for my little Mr. Binks, mixed with the absolutely lovely pure blend. What do you think of the pure blend?
Well, that is ideal, really, because especially for athletes with like added things like the blackberries and green leafy vegetables is really important for the antioxidants and for them to particularly be able to recover and repair and reduce the likelihood of damaging their muscles. So, and obviously as well, omega-3s is a big thing. And that's with oily fish is a great source of that. So that's all really important, probably even more so for athletes than for your average lap dog.
Yeah, yes. But Cheryl, would you say, I mean, obviously you can't kind of diss your competition in the flyball circuit, but any dogs that maybe are fed kibble, because I when I look at a dog, over the years, I can actually tell a dog that is fed on a raw diet compared to one that isn't, because of the muscular structure. Because a raw fed dog, you see the conformation better, you see the shape, you've got the curve coming in at the back for a good waist, and the muscle I just feel is denser on a raw fed dog than other types of fed dog. And certainly the vibrancy and the coat is also the big giveaway for me. And the eyes. I always think the eyes look brighter. I remember I was judging the Chiswick Dog Show one year, many years ago. And there were several people judging. And I said, look, please, can we place that little dog over there? Because I know that dog is fed on a raw, balanced, and complete diet. And they was just, all right, Anna, all right, go on then. And then I just went over and I said, you're number 3. And I'm doing this because I know your dog eats a raw, balanced, and complete diet. And she went, how did you know? And I said, I can just tell. So that's actually a true story. So yeah, I mean, would you say that, Cheryl, sometimes looking around at competitions?
Yeah, I think you can definitely tell the raw fed dog. So we brought some of the Crufts dog with us to the Nature Raw factory today, and you'll see that they're all extremely well muscled. Their coats are super shiny, and all the dogs that are here today are raw fed. And a big thing for me about raw feeding is there's less poo.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're always talking about poo.
Less poo.
Poo's such an important subject. It really is. No, actually, funnily enough, a very good friend of mine, actually, who runs the Collar and Lead brand, Dogs and Horses, I've been trying to switch him to raw for about 4 or 5 years. And he's gone with it. He is now such a fan of Natu Raw, recommending Natu Raw to all the dogs coming in to be groomed at the salon they also have. You name it. It's making, I love it because he's become a bit of an evangelist.
Yeah, it does often happen that way, that once people sort of tip over, it kind of is a light bulb moment. And that's what it was like for me when I started. Thinking back, bizarrely, I used to go to the butchers 15 years ago and get them a free or give a donation for a bone, but then fed them kibble the rest of the time. And then when I sort of started raw feeding, I was like, why did I do that and not think that they could be fed raw all the time, and become an advocate of it from then. But yeah, it just sort of takes that little nudge over to see that it is easy enough to do and the benefits of it, and then you tend to find people do your advertising for you.
Always the best way, isn't it, really? Word of mouth, definitely. But dogs are community, and Crufts is really this massive gathering of Britain's greatest and finest coming to basically celebrate dogdom. Cheryl, I mean, you must be getting a little bit nervous at this stage.
I'm terrified.
You're going to be fine. I mean, explain where Junkyard is in the kind of leader polls.
So I can't remember where we are so we compete with the UK Flyball League, and I want to say that we're probably 7th in that league. But when you look at the world standings, we are 30th. Or are we? Yeah, 30th currently in the world.
So is it international at Crufts? Will there be, teams travelling over from France and Italy and the like?
So not this year. So last year we had a Belgian team has been across for the last couple of years, but I don't think there's any, not in the flyball, there's no international team this year, which is a shame really. But
is that they have to qualify, or they just?
No, they did. They could have come back across, but they drew.
Oh right, okay.
Oh right,
Gosh, generally is very international, isn't it? Usually with the showing.
So the showing is very international.
Yeah, an international winner most of the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the dancing element is quite international. I'm not sure about agility, but the flyball is definitely very UK based because of the qualification.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, who would you say, I mean, not mentioning actually any names, but have you got like a couple of teams in your mind that could be, you might be thinking, gosh, I hope we don't have to go head to head with them, or, because they've got
the one that you've been drawn against, isn't it?
Yeah, when you look at who, because obviously they do the draw they did the draw like a while back at the end of 2025. And there's always a couple of teams in your mind who you think you really don't want to be drawn against them. And yeah, we've probably drawn the one that we didn't want, to be honest.
Oh
Um,
no.
we're very so we're very evenly matched with the team that we've drawn.
So it's basically like a knockout then
Yeah,
for the
it's a
first
knockout.
day one, like then you'd go through to day two.
Yeah,
Oh,
so Thursday and Friday are your first 16 teams, and if you lose, you're out. That's it, game over. If you win, you go through to the Saturday. But we're racing last thing. We're the last race on the Friday, and I think the Friday races are exceptional quality, and that final race is between Junkyard Dogs and Storm Chasers, and yeah, that's going to be one tough
one to watch.
race, I think, and probably one to watch.
So yeah, it's really about who makes the mistake then, because you're so evenly.
Who can hold the nerve?
Yeah.
It won't be the dogs, will it?
So-
The dogs will be poor perfect. It'll be
Yeah.
the human
Those
handlers.
humans letting you down.
That's such an interesting point. The dogs will be fine. That's such an interesting point to make. It won't be about the dogs losing their nerve. And that's part of it in this big pressured environment, isn't it? You can practice all you want, but you walk into that arena, you've got all the people there, you've got all your fans, you've got the big cheers, all the rest of it. That must shake your nerves a bit, let alone, the actual competition part of it. Cheryl, explain what you think makes the best type of flyball dog.
Oh gosh, it's difficult because flyball is for any dog. It depends what you want out of the sport, really. So, like Junkyard Dogs has a complete mix of breeds. So we have a lot of border collies, we have a lot of crossbreeds, but we also have like a cockapoo. We have a little cocker spaniel. We've had a Springer Spaniel that's recently retired. So it depends what you want out of the dog. If you want to compete at the highest level and you're looking for that speed, then you need fast feet, power, and consistency. But if you're just wanting a sport to build and enjoy a relationship with your dog, then any dog can do flyball. That's
quite unique in that sense that it's like accessible for anybody. All the requirement is that you've got a dog.
Yeah. So I've got a mixture of, like, I've got a little border collie who's got extremely fast feet, and she runs some amazing times for her build and stature. And she's one of my fastest dogs. But then I've also got a border collie who's slower and just does it because she loves it and I ask her to do it. For crufts, we have to have at least one breed dog has to run. So that's where the border collies come in.
All right.
So we've got a couple of border collies that we can interchange if needed, but then the others are crossbreeds. So there's a couple of border collie cross whippets that give me fast feet and power. And then there is a border collie cross whippet cross Malinois, which gives extra power.
Yeah. Is there a certain like size, so like leg length is like for like how many paces or there is between, are you looking at that like little dogs, the legs that have to move?
Yeah, so for crufts, the jumps are set at 9-inch.
Right.
So that's what every dog runs over. But in a normal flyball competition, you run at the height of the smallest dog.
All right.
So the little red border collie out there, Drift, measures 10-inch. So all the bigger dogs that are like baby giraffes benefit from running with a small height dog.
All right. It's interesting.
Yeah, gosh, I didn't know that. That's really interesting. And I've always wondered, the bit where they've got to the, I don't know what it's called, the gadget where they have to press with their paw, don't they, to release the ball, to catch it, turn. I mean, that must be the most tricky part to do the training for.
Yes, that is. I mean, it's all very complicated. If you just want a dog to run over 4 jumps, touch the box, get a ball and come back, then that's quite easy to train. However, when you get to the higher levels, we like a dog to run fast and not lose any speed. We like them to run flat over the jumps and not bound, so they don't lose speed.
They're wasting energy going upwards.
So we like them to run nice and flat. We look at their striding in between the jumps. We particularly look at the striding from the last jump to the box, which is the gadget. And then we specifically train a nice 4-foot snappy, like a swimmer's turn, a swimmer's.
When we
Yeah.
were talking earlier with some of the others, they're saying that you don't actually introduce a ball
No.
until they've got that turn.
Yes.
So how are you actually training them to do that on the box?
So we initially start from puppies. So we'll just decide which way they turn. So which do they turn stronger to the left or stronger to the right? So you start to tweak the direction, and then we might just do some basic flat work and get them to turn for a reward. And then we look at how their feet are landing. And then we move them when they're normally, I would say, 12 months old, when we know that their joints are formed and we're not going to cause any damage. We put them onto a board and we start shaping.
Yeah.
Shaping the
So it's
turn.
quite a long process.
Yes. It is not a quick process if you want it
Amazing.
done properly.
I certainly know from doing agility, that you generally train, or you always actually train getting off the obstacle before getting onto the obstacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you do a bit of backwards training with flyball as well, Cheryl?
So we do. So we normally just start off with flat speed, introduce toy play. So you want the puppy or the dog to drive towards the handler, and we always say the dog will get rewarded with whatever the dog wants, really. So whether that be a tug toy or a treat ball or treats on the floor. So we train flat speed with nothing. So to start with, and then we start introducing the jumps, but we'll only do it one way, and it'll be the way they're chasing their handler. And then you start back training it like the other way, if you like, towards the box. But we don't introduce a ball until the very last minute.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is, because they're sort of on their own, different to agility in a way, because the handler's guiding, the dog around the course, with the hand and shouting the cues to the different obstacles, frame or tunnel, or whatever. But with flyball, and because it's so fast as well, I've always been so impressed, because you just send the dog off, the dog knows to do the turn. And the bit that always makes my heart kind of go, oh gosh, when I sort of normally burst into tears, is that run back, because it's amazing. It's just great. And then the next dog knows that he follows that dog. So I suppose it's just all about practice, repetition with the team.
Yep, lots of practice, lots of repetition, lots of using different dogs. And when we start with our puppies, so we always run 2 lanes. So we don't normally train a dog on its own. We introduce 2 dogs straight away so that they get used to working while there's another dog working. We know that they're not going to run across and just want to play. So
I guess a lot of it is about the atmosphere as well, and it's all very well like doing the training, but especially at Crufts, I bet it's very nerve-wracking for
so
humans and the dog.
Crufts is different because obviously you have got that massive crowd. There's lots of cheering, there's lots of screaming, there's lots of foot stamping in the stands. So we have a playlist with crowd noise on
Right.
that we have played in our training venue for the last few training sessions, so they get used to the noise of a crowd and clapping, and because that's probably the only way we can replicate it.
No, definitely.
That's such a good idea, because that's something I've found. It's a tannoy, because a human's voice, when it comes through a tannoy, something happens to it. And I've seen dogs really quite freaked out by tannoys.
What sort of age are they before they make it to sort of the Crufts? They have to be quite mature, and is it several years before they're like up to that level?
Drift is 3.
All right.
I would say Havoc he did it last year, and he was quite young last year, so Havoc would have been, I think he was only 2, and when it was a bit of a gamble for us to run Havoc because he was so young, but he coped really well with it, hence why he's back in the team this year. But it all depends on how quickly they've picked it up, how well they cope with the environment, and the bond that they've got with their handler.
Yeah, so it's not just about the physicality and the athleticism, it's got to be about like attitude and how they can cope in under the pressure.
No, gosh, yeah, no, I can really imagine that. And also, I guess it depends as well what's been going on in the main arena the day before and whether there's treats that have been squashed into the carpet
Oh yeah,
or if a dog's accidentally had an accident,
yeah,
and that's something delicious to smell. I know that from having competed at Crufts myself. It's best to go in on the Thursday.
It's pretty much sensory overload for a dog.
it is. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. So how many times do you practice a week, Cheryl? Because for me as well, and I'm sure Jess, you'd agree on this, these sports and just dogs in general, they do build community, don't they? They help us so much. This is a great sport. It's your hobby, it's your passion, but dogs on so many levels do that, don't they, Jess? But you must have built a great set of friends around the flyball community.
Yeah, so the whole team is we're just a little weird little family. It's the best way I can describe them.
All dog mad and that
functional family. We've all got multiple dogs. I don't think there's one of us that's just got one single dog. We've all got multiple dogs. We train as a team together, normally once a week on a weekend, but it'll be a full day. It's from like 10 while 7. It's a long day. The dogs come out multiple times. And we do lots of different drills. And we keep the sessions short so the dog stays engaged, and then they'll go get some hydration, and then they'll come back out later in the afternoon. But there's all little things at home. So one of my border collies loves to spit her ball early. It's very frustrating. So we do little sessions at home of her holding a ball to a reward. A few of us do extra, so obviously they get walked, and a few of us have got treadmills, but we compete in canicross, bike drawing. It's not just fly ball. There's a lot of other things that we do to keep our dogs fit and healthy, and just keep that relationship engaged.
Yeah, and that's community also, with people, isn't it?
Yep, the people. So we just can't get enough of each other. That's why we're all here today.
Do you ever have any sort of slight fallings out, going, well, if your dog Drift hadn't run into havoc by accident?
Oh, all the time. But
I was thinking about that earlier, about how it's quite an unusual relationship with your dog, because if your dog drops if your dog's the one that costs you the win, then how do you feel?
I'll let you know.
But yeah, it's like that. It's all over in the margins for error are so tiny.
Yeah, they are.
And then being a team event as well, like feeling that you've let your team down, or your dog has let your team down. It must be quite hard emotionally, because it's a lot of training, and
I think
for a few seconds, basically, isn't it?
It is an awful lot of training for a few seconds in a competition, a few seconds on the green carpet, but we train together. We have won a lot of championship events. We've got a club record of 1456, so we win together, but we lose together. And it's that nobody's at fault. It couldn't, but Gary, who's box loading this year, if a ball rolls out of the box and it's nobody's fault, the box has misfired, I'm sure he'll feel terrible, and we'll probably give him some ribbing for it later. But
when it comes down to it, you're all in it together.
We are all in it together, and we have to be.
Gosh, so Cheryl, is it a bit like, a sort of big football match where, you've got your reserves on the side? So would you have dogs like, just say the dog took a jump a bit difficultly, slightly strained his leg, came back limping a bit? Do you have dogs ready to go in and, take one dog out, put another dog in like they do in football?
So a little bit like that. So the Crufts team is 4 dogs, so it'll be 4 dogs that race. However, we have 2 reserves who will also be in the ring. So if, I don't know, Drift spits a ball, then I can take her out and put another border collie in, because she's a breed dog and it would have to be a border collie for a border collie. If one of the bigger dogs goes down because of a sprain or doesn't look quite right and we're not happy with how they're running, then we can, but we do only have 2 reserves. And that's all any team is allowed. You're only allowed a total of 6 dogs.
Right, that's interesting. Gosh. So in a way that's even more pressure, isn't it, really?
It's a lot of pressure, yeah.
So what's your drill like now? Because today is obviously March the 1st. You're competing this coming Friday, so you've got 5 days. How are the next few days looking for you, Cheryl?
I am working until Wednesday. And then Thursday I have got off. And I'll probably try and relax, give Drift a bath so that she looks and smells nice.
Well, she's got her TV debut.
Yeah, ready for a TV. Give her a nice groom, and then pack our bag and just try and.
Do you hold off on the training and the build up to it?
Yeah, so we had our last training session last weekend, and then she's wrapped up in bubble wrap. She's lead walk.
No injuries allowed.
She's no free running. She's not allowed to barge with any of my other dogs.
Is there an element of it where you want them to be a bit like not have had enough exercise, or things so that they let loose?
Yeah, so we will race on Friday afternoon, and I think it's scheduled for about 3:15 in the afternoon, and we're the last heat.
All right, a lot of waiting around.
She'll be a lot of waiting at Crufts. There'll be a lot of people who go, oh, I want to pet her and fuss her, but she will be completely rested on Thursday as well.
All right. So
Wow.
she'll be ready to
So she'll be ready.
burst out of the.
That's the plan, to burst out on the starting blocks, hopefully.
Oh gosh, I so wish I was up at Crufts on Friday coming. I'm not there. I'm there Thursday and Sunday. So might you, Cheryl, be there on Sunday? How will that
potentially?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Right. So on Sunday, that's obviously the big finale for everything. So
It is, yeah.
if you're there still on the Sunday, which I'm sure you will be, what does that mean you've done to get there? How many teams have you beaten?
Oh gosh. We'll have raced on the Friday and won, and we'll have raced on the Saturday and won, and that puts us through to the Sunday.
So is it 4 teams on the Sunday?
Is it 2? Oh, I can't. I only think about the Friday.
Yeah, you've got to
the first day.
You've just got to win the first one.
I think that's all that's in my mind, that first day. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's very important just to take it step by step, definitely. But this is so exciting. I'm really excited for you, and hopefully, we can meet up on the Sunday. That would be just really great. Cheryl, am I right in thinking that you actually do judge flyball as well as compete in it?
I do. So I am one of the few level 3, which is the highest level judge in the league in the UK. So I judge flyball. I had the honour of judging flyball at Crufts last year, and was the one stood in the ring, getting famous on TikTok. If you were seeing any of the videos that went live, and absolute honour. Probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. However, I don't know whether I'd rather judge or compete.
I was going to say, it's scarier than competing.
I don't know. I think I'm more nervous.
I suppose there's only one judge to make those decisions.
I know, but yeah.
What's the most contentious sort of scenario?
I prefer to judge,
Wow.
I think I'm more nervous competing
All right.
with me and my little dog in the ring instead of just it being me. But yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. I love that. So, it's almost like Junkyard Dogs is run by, a real international expert at the helm.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's great. No, I just love hearing your passion about the sport and then your love of dogs and everything. It's what dog ownership should really be all about, I think.
I agree.
What would you say to anyone listening, thinking, gosh, I do want to do a sport with my dog, because it is about community and it is about keeping dogs in peak condition. A lot of dogs only get walked by their dog walkers, on the other massive different scale of the fence. So this is great. You know, it's having fun with your dog and building a bond that is so important. Time's short with your dog, you know, time flies and you need to sort of maximize everything. So if someone's thinking, yeah, do you know what? I think I really might fancy a bit of fly ball. Where can people go to find out more about the sport?
So there are a couple of associations in the UK. You've got the UK Flyball League, so you can look at their website, send them a message, ask for a local team and get in touch with one of their mentors. You've got the British Flyball Association as well. And you've also got United Flyball Outdoor, which is quite a new association, and they just run outdoor on grass. But if you're thinking about getting involved in flyball, just reach out to one of those leagues or associations. And there's plenty of teams throughout the UK who run taster sessions, beginner courses, and just look to get yourself on one of those.
And definitely sounds like people shouldn't be scared off by thinking they've not got a super duper athletic
No,
dog.
absolutely
It's
not. No.
all sorts of abilities.
All sorts of abilities. Any dog. I've always said any dog. I mean, there's a basset hound in UK Flyball League. It's amazing.
I can't imagine there's much speed in a basset. The ears.
It's a couple of like dachshunds.
Oh,
All right.
They're amazing. It's just about building that relationship and that bond, and having fun with other like-minded.
Well, ultimately, you spend more time with the training than the competing.
You do spend more time training, but
so like you've got to have fun whilst you're doing it.
Fun. We eat a lot of cake at our training sessions. Kelly's and Kathy bake lots of like truffles and brownies. So we're spending most of the time eating cake and drinking tea, but with a bit of training thrown in. It's all good fun.
yeah, but that's all part of it. You know, that's the whole thing, and making friends and swapping tips and different, you know, training ideas. And I just got this image in my head now of a basset hound, you know, with the ears just flying out sideways.
I'll get you a video.
Yes, yeah. Do you know if that basset hound will be at Crufts?
I'm not sure. I think the owners are actually.
Oh, well, look, Cheryl, it's been brilliant chatting, and yeah, be sure to take lots of natural raw treats with you.
We will.
Yeah, and kongs and everything stuffed with some natural raw treats, because for me, I think the biggest downside of Crufts is the waiting. And the waiting can
there must
really
be a lot of waiting around,
and that can
do you think you're at a disadvantage from going like last in the day, or the dogs get fed up?
We have a special benching area, to be fair, which is away from most of the other show dogs. And we can put the dog in a crate, cover them with a blanket, we can get them out to the toilet and stuff. But yeah, they are just eager to go, aren't they, all the time? But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but they're on the benches and that, and that's also a good community spirit time as well, you know, when you might be quite near to your arch enemy, but you know, really at the end of the day, everyone's in it for the dogs.
Yep, that is very true.
Oh, well, look, thank you, Cheryl, for joining us today. And Jess, look, brilliant. I mean, I'm just so excited. I'm excited for you, and wish you all the best, and go get it.
Thank you.
That's our show, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go on, rate and review the show wherever you listen to your podcasts. And thanks again to Jess Warnican and Cheryl Quinn of Junkyard Dogs for joining us and explaining all of the ins and outs of flyball. And we're wishing them the best of luck for next weekend. And if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about Antonol, simply go on their website, and then at checkout, just use my code, which is Anna Webb. Similarly, with NatuRaw, you can use my special discount code, which is AnnaWebb20, and redeem 20% off your first order. And if you haven't already, go on, subscribe. It's free. And that way, you'll never miss another show. Bye for now.